Welcome back. You're watching To The Point. Let's now come to H-1B visas. Krish Lakshmikant, on the 31st of March, the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services Agency decided that computer programmers with 2-year degrees do not necessarily qualify for H-1B visas. Then yesterday, on the 3rd of April, the same agency announced multiple measures to deter and detect H-1B visa fraud and abuse. These include validation of the employer's basic business information, employers who have a higher ratio of H-1B visas compared to US workers, and H-1B visa holders working at another company or another organization's offices. Collectively, what impact will all of this have on India's IT industry?
India's IT industry definitely is going to have a hit. Not only because of this, but there are 4 bills in Congress which will increase the minimum wages to $120,000. Today, the average is around $60,000, and if you double most of these companies, the bottom line will be hit by $500 million. It's not a small amount. I'm talking of profits to the major companies. So it is definitely something worrying. The second thing is, what companies will do is they will send people who are, data scientists, they may send e-commerce people, they may send digital people.
Only 20 seconds because we're running out of time. The problem for the Indian IT industry is that developments in America are happening alongside very similar tightening up of visas for IT in Singapore as well as in UK. And then deeper in the background is the possibility you raised yourself of those bills in the House of Representatives coming to fruition, even though many would say that's unlikely. But is there a sense in which the clouds over the IT industry horizon are darkening? But we've only got 20 seconds for your answer.
No, I would say that there are methods available like telecommuting, etc., by which you can talk, say telepresence is available, which definitely helps. So a lot of conferences, meetings with customers will take place over the net. So people going on the spot will become less. That is definitely going to happen.
In other words, the IT industry will have to change the way it does jobs in America for American customers. It will have to perhaps hire more there and pay more, but also it can do a lot more by outsourcing as well as through networking, through teleconferences. Changing the way you respond to the requirement made of you by your customers is the answer to the problem. A quick yes or no, Mr. Lakshmikant?
Yes, what you say is correct.
All right.
I know a couple of my clients, they are now hiring, each one is hiring about 500.
Too destructive.
Okay. Krish Lakshmikant, I want to come back to you for a moment before I go to my other panelists. Leave aside the possibility that those 4 bills in the House of Representatives could be passed, because we don't know whether they will be, and similar bills in the past have actually not been passed. Concentrate for me instead on the measures announced by the US Citizenship and Immigration Services Agency, first on the 31st of March and then again on the 3rd of April. NASSCOM has officially said that these are simply putting into practice or following what's already been observed, and therefore they believe, NASSCOM believes, there will be no hit. Do you agree with NASSCOM with specific regard to these measures, or do you still feel even these measures will be adverse in their impact, there will be a hit on the IT industry, and that NASSCOM's sanguine response is complacency or at least mistaken?
You see, the industry IT industry is changing. It is no longer labor arbitrage, which is what we had till 2 years back. The transformation is taking place, and we need different kind of people to go to the US, not the programmers. So what NASSCOM says is true, but we will be sending higher educated people, like people from the IITs, people from the IIMs. They will be going to the US.
So what you're saying to me, if I've understood you correctly, is that there won't necessarily be an adverse hit. You do largely agree with NASSCOM.
No, adverse in the sense, my feeling, I mean, this is a guess, my feeling only, that these companies will not apply for the same number of H-1B this year. So the big 4 companies, between them, they may only take half of the H-1B available.
But will that affect their bottom line or will it not? That's the key issue.
See, now the entire thing is going digital, the entire thing is being transformed. So we can do more with people in the India, offshoring, rather than in the US. What we need in the US are specialists.
Yes.
No, people who
Forgive
go
me,
and
Mr.
talk to
Lakshmikant,
marketing.
all of that, all the answers you're giving actually support NASSCOM's view, and I assume therefore the conclusion is that NASSCOM is not complacent. NASSCOM is right that the measures announced by the US Citizenship and Immigration Services Agency do not amount to an adverse hit, because all your answers are supporting that viewpoint, even if you're reluctant to say so in so many words. Alisa Hayes, let me bring you in and then I'll bring in Meera Shankar. How aware is the Trump administration that if its measures do end up adversely affecting India's IT industry, then those companies will automatically raise the price of their services, and that in turn will increase costs for American companies that deal with them, and that in turn will affect American consumers, because those American companies will pass on the cost to American people. How aware is the Trump administration of that chain, which can work against American interests?